I hope you're all well. Welcome to my channel if you haven't been here before. It's where I talk about twin flame process. These videos are going to be short videos, just with a few cards for each sign for the month of December. I just wanted to do an intro. Just first of all say that you can contact me through my website. The description box below has all the details of how to do that. So if you wanted to get a personal reading or have a session, that's how you go about doing that. And also to say that I am going to be closing for Christmas period. So I won't be doing any readings between the 20th of December and the 3rd of January. And I can't be booking people in during that period either. So if you wanted to book something for December or for January, you would get back to me by, say, the 15th of December, because then I have time to book you in before I go completely offline and distance myself from email and don't look at my email again on the 20th of December until the 3rd of January. That is this Star Soul Tarot email, which I don't want to have to look at over Christmas. All right, so I just wanted to add that in. And I'm just going to, before I start with the monthlies, I think, will it be on every video? It will be on every video, and then it has to be on every video, so that's a good thing. Good. All right, so I just want to pull like 3 cards to give an overview of the month, because we've got this great big moon coming on the 4th of December, which is, I think it's super moon, and it's eclipse, and it's in the last of the row of eclipses or something like that. It's also in Sagittarius, and Sagittarius is really representative of the galactic centre and higher consciousness, but in a very structured way. It is a mental, it's a mental energy, but it's also really, it's really thorough, right? It's like, it's kind of grounded. It's a grounded mental energy. So it's higher consciousness grounded into physical form through what is through Sagittarius, what Sagittarius represents actually, and in the tarot that is the Hierophant. So, and the Hierophant is the man of book learning and teaching and all that kind of stuff. But he's also very grounded. He's not like the hermit who's in a cave, just detached from reality and people and receiving wisdom that way. He learns from books and he learns from the human structure. So it's kind of like having a new moon in Sagittarius is a bit like having just brand new energy delivered to Earth, I would say, which is available to everybody in a very structured way, in a way that everybody can understand and appreciate and access. So it's not like some kind of ethereal new beginning that you get with this moon. It's more of a kind of like, it's a very strong energy of resilient energy, of kind of like matter of fact energy, of like making things manifest through kind of like the compliance of being in a human form whilst also attached to higher self, right? So it's a very real new beginning, basically, we're going to have, like real, like full on. It's not dramatic. It's more kind of like clarity, galactic center, right? It's more kind of like functional. How do I put it? It's more kind of like definite, right? Definite new beginnings. It's kind of like people saying things that they should have said for a long time, without any fear of saying it, from a very like human perspective, that kind of stuff. So it's a really important moon, I feel, right at the beginning of December as well. So everything from in the rest of December is kind of lead from that energy of whatever it is that comes into your life because of that. And it's also very masculine as well, so it's going to really apply to men basically, or those working from the masculine energy as well. Women, some very masculine women, you know, that those are the people that are going to be receiving this, because it is galactic center, which means crown chakra, which means received wisdom from source, but believing it's not from source a lot of the time, believing that you've just, oh, I've just realized, you know, not like, oh, spirit just spoke to me, which is a different kind of understanding of receiving, right? It's more of a masculine way of receiving it. And with the masculine, it's egoic, right? So the masculine has to think that they thought it. And that's the thing about the masculine. It's like they think that they decided that or they thought that because they're working with ego. So it's very much like they're going to receive masculine energy in human form, going to receive sudden impulse from source, guidance they're going to think, oh, I've just realised I've got to do this, or say this to this person, or, you know, that kind of thing is what it's going to be. So, and it'll lead on for the whole month, right? Because it's open-ended from there, because it is the final of eclipses. Final. So that's it. We're done with those leading up to this. And then we move into that, whatever comes from it. Let's get a few cards out. 3, maybe 4. I don't know. Let's see. Go with the flow, eh? Right. Queen of Swords, brain. This is interesting. Let me just get the others out. Okay. 6 of Pentacles, reaching out. That's making contact in the physical world. This is for twin flames. This is what's going to be. Healing. Knight of Pentacles, which is healing energy. Physical healing, but it's not about healing the physical body. It's about healing the mind. It's about being in a human body, right, and then healing the mind. What is healing the mind? It's not thinking. Setting oneself apart from one's thoughts, not attaching to thoughts. You know, there's that saying, I think, therefore I am. No, actually, you're energetic, therefore you are. You only think when you're here. You're not always here. You're not always human. You're primarily vibration. You're primarily energy. You're guided by that vibration. That is your guide, right? So you don't think, therefore you am. The detachment from thought allows your guidance to take you where you need to go, in terms of like leading you to how to feel and how to materialize things into physical form, right? From that feeling. It's a detachment of thought. So, and that's really interesting, because when they're talking about this Hierophant, and it's a representation of Sagittarius, and it's a new moon, and it's a masculine, right? And it's a coming down from source through the crown chakra into the head, giving information to the masculine. Twin flames connected. They're connected on every level. They're connected through the physical body. Same things going on in the physical body a lot of the time. They're connected, and also because the chakras, the whole energetic system can be felt through the physical body, so that as well. They're also connected through the emotions and emotionally, and they're connected through the mind. And it's not just telepathy, but it's the fact that they operate in tandem, right? The whole function of twin flames is clearing the ego and moving into a level of higher consciousness as you exist in that in physical form. Very similar to what they're saying about everybody receiving at this new moon, right? It's the same thing. Higher consciousness coming into physical form. But with twin flames, it's the feminine that creates, right? The feminine creates the impulse in the mind, right? Which is why with all the stuff that we're taught with this, is that the feminine has to clear the spectrum of the ego. So that is a functional work that you act in as you are alive, right? So it's coming into awareness of what is thought, what is harmful thought, what is beneficial thought, what are the beneficial ways of thinking, what is worry, how do I worry in my head? Is worry merely being concerned with something, you know? Yes, it is basically. If you're concerned with anything in a way that does not feel good through your thought, then you are in worry, right? So the feminine is guided to create a new principle inside herself of the way that she thinks, she's attached to the masculine, or she or he is attached to the masculine in the other person, in the other twin, on a mental level. The feminine clearing that through the brain clears it in the masculine as well. That's how you both come to the end of the whole story, the whole journey, the whole process, because connection through the mind has to be cleared by the feminine. So, so we got that there, right? Queen of Swords, the mind of the feminine. That's what the healing is. It's the clearing of the ego in physical form. Of course, you've got to have an ego. I'm not going to discuss like whether we should have an ego or not. It's the worry, right? And it's the fear, and it's the finding things wrong with everything in the present moment. That's what we don't want. That's what the ego is. That's when the ego is in control of your experience, right? So, and that's, you don't, it's got to be guidance that's in control. This two people coming back together after a long separation is about vibration getting them there, not the mind. Resistance in the mind. 7 of Wands, resistance. 4 of Pentacles, now moment. Clearing resistance in the now moment. How do you do that? You stop thinking. Right? You don't stop thinking. So it's what people tend to do is they go, oh yes, I know, I'm going to stop thinking, and then they immediately start thinking again about things that it's not beneficial to think about. Or they say, well, yeah, I know that, but I've got to think about this because it's really, really worrying. So let me just think about this for another 7 days because it's really worrying, and then I'm going to find something else that I can focus on and worry about. But I know I shouldn't. Right, so that's resistance, right? So letting go of the mind, now moment, clears everything. Everything hinges on the now moment. So this moon, it's an opportunity. It's an opportunity to let Source do its job, basically. Detach on that moon. 4 Pentacles, now moment, particularly on that moon, 4 December. Detach from the ego, 2 of Swords, manifestation, magician. I think that's it. So that's what I've got to say about this moon. Anything else? And there we've got that person reaching out. So for those of you who are focused on reunion as the reason for the twin flame experience, right, and the inevitable outcome of the twin flame experience, you'll have whatever inevitable outcome you believe in, because you're creating as you go along in your life. If you don't believe in it, well, you wouldn't have it. But you've got to, and you believe in it, you'll have it, right? So, what was I going to say? But you've got to let go of it to manifest it. Because hanging on to it and wanting it and looking at it not being there is a block to receiving it. Do you get it? There, King of Pentacles. Man-made manifest. So yes, that's what I'm going to say then about this moon. It's a time to detach from your thoughts, basically. And, maybe it's going to be a time to learn to do that for once and for all, right, on this moon. Maybe it's also going to be, what was I going to say, like automatic for some people, that it will just happen. And it will just happen. And as they said, it's the feminine, the mind, it works through the creation of what goes on in the feminine mind. It's not what you think about, it's how you think, right? And that creates the clarity. And then we've got this massive moon that is about, again, about the mind and about what comes through the mind of the masculine. So it could be a clearing point and it could bring reunion. But you're here to learn to detach from your thoughts unless you come into... unless you take on that work and you take on that responsibility and you learn to operate from a sense of no fear and no worry and not being in alignment constantly with fear and worry, then you won't bring in your own reunion, right? That's the name of the game. You bring in your own reunion by detaching from fear and worry, because it's the fear and worry in you that's the fear and the worry in the masculine. It's the same thing, because you've got connection through the mind. So if you are fearing and worrying, not only will you not come into reunion, but they will also be fearing and worrying. And you will both be fearing and worrying forever. Resistance. So you've got to stop it, and then they'll stop it, and then you have your inevitable reunion. Right. Oh, right, I'm going now. Lots of love. See you next time. Bye. These are the star sign readings for December 2021, fire sign readings, starting with Sagittarius. So it's also a new moon in Sagittarius on December, I think it's the 3rd or the 4th, 4th actually, and it's I think it's an eclipse and a supermoon as well. So it's a really big opportunity, clearing the mind, they're saying, because it's Sagittarius, and that's about the mind. So it's going to be a big healing for everybody, particularly for Sagittarians, this month. Okay, so let's get some cards out. Start with Sagittarius for December. All right, so we've got 4 Pentacles, that's about right now. Also talks about the now moment, focusing into the present moment. The world, completion, end of a journey. And then 10 of Swords, which is, again, it's the ending in the mind. So it's something clearing from your mind. They're saying right now, so starting right at the beginning of December, something completing. The world is completion, and so is the 10 of Swords. So you're completing some, feels like programming, being deleted, being eliminated, finalising. Just something leaving you, a way of thinking, a way of being alone with your thoughts. This is a now moment. It's really representative of like what goes on inside you in any moment, basically, inside the mind. So ending a way of being inside your mind. It feels like you're going to be, oh look, Ace of Wands as well, brand new energy. So it feels like you're going to be relieved of something, some kind of, everything that we go through in this lifetime isn't what we think it is. So everything that we go through is meant to be exactly how it is. But a lot of what we're doing here is work, energetic work, particularly if you're a twin flame, you're watching this, you're going to be doing, your life will be about the energetic work that you do, which is going on behind the scenes. So it feels like you're being relieved of some aspect of work, and that aspect will be clearing the lower spectrum of thought, egoic consciousness. So it feels like you're going to come out of egoic consciousness this month, Sagittarius. So it feels like you're going to have it feels like after this moon that's coming on the 4th, powerful moon, you're going to shift into a much clearer way of thinking, a much more beneficial way of thinking, a much more creative, Ace of Wands, creative way of thinking that's going to allow you to draw to you from the law of attraction whatever it is that you desire. Present moment is always where you're focused for law of attraction. Feelings in the present moment, basically. The only thing that takes you away from feeling good in the present moment is your mind, and the dark thoughts and the negative thoughts and the worry and the fear and the stress and the doubt, lack of faith, all these kinds of things. Completion of a journey. If you're going through twin flame process, your actual journey here is about eliminating this thought program that runs through all of human consciousness, and that's your specific work. So it feels like you're coming to the end of that, your duty and obligation in actually experiencing the lower consciousness, and that you're going to come to a point of release. This Ace of Wands also representative of point of attraction, and you're going to reach they're saying the pinnacle of your objective, which is to operate from law of attraction, and that's a really clarified, pure mindedness, right? It means there's just clarity, which is really lack of thought, actually. Clarity, it's lack of thought, because true clarity comes from beyond thought, it comes from higher consciousness, comes from source. So it means you're opening a channel to source. So as you stop thinking, you allow source in, and source gives you the clarity and the inspiration in terms of what does come into your mind. Could be some people, some Sagittarians, suddenly are becoming clairaudient, even claircognizant, getting voices from spirit inside their head. That's what it would be symbolic of, basically, clarified mind. So yeah, look out for that. Maybe you'll hear something, get some kind of channeled guidance coming through of your own. All right, so I think that's it for Sagittarius. I think that's enough for Sagittarius. So that's what they're saying. This is from the new moon. So it's brand new for you from there, and it's going to be completely different. Your life's going to change. Your life on the outside will change, but what really changes inside of you and how you operate and how you function as a human on this planet. So it's operating from higher consciousness rather than lower consciousness. It's like you're being freed. That's how it feels. That's what they're saying. So leave that there for Sagittarius. Next fire sign we're going to do is Aries. Let's look for Aries. Right, we've got Seven of Wands, which is about resistance. It's resistance in the vibration. So that's talking about whenever you don't feel good, basically, is what is resistance in the vibration. And that means not feeling good mentally and emotionally rather than physically. Physicality can play a part, but really it's when you're not feeling at ease inside your thoughts or feeling at ease inside your emotions. So they've got resistance there. And then we've got Page of Pentacles, which is about form showing up in the physical world. So what shows up from resistance is just more resistance, basically. Let's see. Queen of Swords. You've got the mind coming up as well. So let's just see what she wants. Ending. Nine of Swords, which is ending in the mind, right? So they're talking about you ending in your mind, the resistance that's in your mind. So it's slightly the same as Sagittarius, but also completely different. Because this is more like you're being asked to do something this month, which is about clearing your own resistance vibrationally that is drawing to you in the physical what comes from you. So everything that you create in your physical environment, including all your clothes, all your food in the cupboard, all the where you live, you know, your house, your furniture, everything, people in your life, people that show up, all comes from you and how you create what you bring to you, and you do that through your mind. The only thought that's valuable is creative visualization, daydreaming about your desires, and bringing life forth from that mind, right? So you bring forth into your physical life all that comes from your mind. So what they're saying here is ending here in the Nine of Swords, what goes on in your mind that causes a resistance in the vibration, which brings to you what actually is in your life. So most people know about law of attraction, but they don't operate with the principles of it because they kind of know, but they feel like, oh, you know what, really, it's like, no, I don't know. Maybe they don't believe it, or they just find it too hard to like come away from their own minds and the trouble in their minds. And they kind of, a lot of people kind of just generate randomly from inside of their head what is coming to them in the physical. And a lot of that is because they don't get out of the program of worry and looking at at a bleaker picture and looking at things in a negative way, and basically in their heads going on about the things that are wrong. You know, oh, this is going on, or that's going on, or this is going on, or whatever. And that's just creating more and more of bringing that. So what they're saying here is, end that, right, in your mind, and you will cease the resistance in the energy and your vibration that brings to you anything in form. Let's see what the next card is. You need another one. Communication, Ace of Swords, right? This is clarity as well in the mind, clarity and communication. It's a brand new way of thinking. It's an ace, so it's everything that's brand new. So it just feels like you need to also empty your mind, basically. Just empty your mind of everything. Maybe do a lot of meditation this month. Rest, recuperate. But don't, if you go lie down to rest, like she is there, don't go lie down and then kind of churn around all the worry. Lie down and let go of it. And then you're going to find what comes to you from clarity. This is also clarity, the Ace of Swords. Inside your mind is everything that you've ever desired. Because the only thing that stops your desires coming in is unclarity, right? So all that worry in your head is stopping all your desires from coming in. It's causing the resistance to the form that shows up, the actual form that you want. And all you have to do to draw the form that you want is to let go of your thought, right? Or have fun with your thoughts and use them to picture whatever it is you want. that's whatever it is that you want, you know, not what anybody else wants or what you think you should want, and definitely not what you don't want. You use it to picture what you want, and that's how you get what you want. It's not because you go down the shops and you buy it. It isn't, really, it isn't. It's because it's going to draw to you through law of attraction. If you think about your shopping list from down the shops all the time, all you're going to get is yourself stuck in a place where all you do is go down the shops all the time. So instead, picture yourself on a beach or a yacht or something that you'd really like, or in Studio 54 or whatever, you know. Okay, whatever it is that you desire. Next one is Leo. Picture your desires, right? That's what they're saying there. Picture your desires, not your worries. Okay, Leo, here we go. Empress, rebirth. High Priestess, which is high consciousness. And the Emperor, which is a masculine energy made manifest. I'm going to get one more out. Leo. Ten of Pentacles, completion in the physical. They're saying you can have whatever you want this month. You're going to have it, basically. So it's like a step on from this, right? In fact, they all seem to flow in a story, really. Because if you end the worry that's in that group of cards there, and you let go in the mind there, which is what as Aries has got to do, here is what you get from it, basically. It's what you get. So Leo, your trajectory is to fundamentally inside yourself achieve from liberation of the principle of being human that makes you human, which is your mind, right? By being in higher consciousness, which is just a state of let go. All that means is higher consciousness is no thought. There is no thought beyond the physical realm, right? We don't think when we go back to where we go back to vibration only. We have no thought from there. It's just higher consciousness. So it's like you being in a state of higher consciousness. We got rebirth from that. Empress, number 3, which is creation. And here we've got the Emperor, which is a card that corresponds. You've got the masculine and the feminine, right? There as well. And then you've got completion here, 10 of Pentacles. But you've got all these major arcana, right? Really powerful cards. And this 10 of Pentacles, all the 10s are really, really powerful. You could have whatever you wanted. That's what they're saying. Because here we've got a person and here we've got loads of money. So what is, you know, it's not about you thinking about it all the time. You definitely don't think about it and about not having it. If you think about not having it, all you draw to you is more not having it. So if you just don't think about anything, remain detached or loose in regard to yourself, right, and your life, because that's what it means. Higher consciousness means that you're not inside yourself thinking about your life all the time and what you don't have and how bad it is and, you know, that kind of stuff. All you do is you detach mentally from everything in your life. You don't have a viewpoint anymore. Right, so the mind always wants to come out one side or the other. It always wants to create an opinion. You might notice that inside yourself, right? It always wants a black or a white. It always wants I like it or I don't like it or I love it or I hate it. It always wants that. So really what high consciousness is, it's having no opinion on anything, that's just anything at all. Nothing. It's stopping yourself before you get to the, it's like you're standing on a high, what do they call them, over a swimming pool? I can't remember those things that stick out that you jump off in a swimming pool. Standing on the end of that's like you walk into the end of it, and at the end is the opinion, right? And you just stop yourself before you get to the end of the thing that sticks out over the swimming pool. And you definitely don't jump off into having an opinion, you know. You just kind of draw back from it, draw back, draw back, draw back. So this is kind of what they're saying for Leo. Leo is a sign of strong opinions. I mean, it is the sign of the ego. It doesn't mean that you're all just focused egoically all the time, but it's the sign of the ego. So, and the ego likes to have opinions because it likes to think it knows everything. which of course it knows nothing, because we're all here for purpose that is unseen from the physical eye and is only known from the vibration, and that goes for everybody to inflame or not. So really, there is no place for ego in thinking it's deciding where you're going in life anyway, because most of your life is fated and destined, whatever. So apart from maybe, like we said here, what you buy down the shops on the day, you know, the little things. Yes, I can decide that I want to have that instead of that down at the shops, this kind of thing. But big things that come along, they come through destiny. So it's almost like creating Empress from the feminine energy, right? Higher consciousness here. That means going into higher, because you create higher consciousness by going into higher consciousness, by going into a let go of the ego. This is ego, the Emperor, because it's masculine energy. So it's like you create from higher consciousness what comes anyway, right? Masculine energy. Into form, it's a force, so it's form, it's earthly. So it's like you're creating, it's almost like you're drawing to you what is egoic from outside of yourself, somebody else with an ego. That's all it is, right? And then anything else that can come from that relinquishing of your own ego, destiny, basically. Maybe some people are due a load of money to come back to them this month, that kind of thing, you know, and it's only if you stop thinking about that money and the fact that you haven't got it, that it can come back. So that is fire signs for this month. I hope that's been of insight to you, and I'm going to come back with the next one. If you wanted to get a reading or anything, all the details are in the description box below, and I do have a website if you'd like to just go there and read that and then pay there and then send me an email with a question or whatever. All right, lots of love. Bye.